Assalamu alaikum viewers. Welcome to episode 15 of ISO 9001 2015 series. And in this particular episode, we'll be talking about clause 8.2, which is related to the requirements for products and services. Clause 8.2 is divided into four subclauses. 8.2.1 is about customer communication. 8.2.2 is about determining the requirements for products and services. 8.2.3 is about review of requirements for products and services. And 8.2.4 is related to changes to the requirements for products and services. Clause 8.2 is specifically related to those functions, processes, or departments which are dealing with the customer. In different organizations, different departments are dealing with the customer as far as the customer feedback is concerned, or as far as contractual agreements are concerned between customer and the supplier. Maybe in your organization, it might be the sales department which is taking care of this responsibility. Maybe in your organization, it is the marketing department, or commercial department, or tendering department, or multiple departments might be dealing with the customer. So, whoever is basically dealing with the customer, whoever is getting the feedback, whoever is having the communication with the customer, whoever is receiving the complaints from the customer, whoever is receiving the requirements from the customers related to the products and services, this particular clause is applicable to those functions. In this particular clause, 8.2.1 customer communication standard is trying to stress on the importance of communication, whether it is internal or external. But in this particular clause, a very specific communication is addressed, which is related to the requirements of customer. So whenever customer is having any inquiry, whenever customer is having any complaint, whenever a customer wants to give any feedback related to your products and services, whenever customer wants any changes in their requirements, the communication mechanism needs to be established by the organization. These communications with the customers shall include A, providing information relating to the products and services, B, handling inquiries, contracts, or orders, including changes, C, obtaining customers' feedback relating to the products and services, including customer complaints, D, handling or controlling customer property, E, establishing specific requirements for contingency actions when required or when relevant. So basically, we are talking about the communication mechanisms which needs to be in place to ensure effective communication between customer and supplier, which is your organization. In continuation to the communication clause, the standard is talking about determining the requirements for products and services. It's very important to understand this clause because there might be requirements which are stated and defined by the customer related to the products and services they are demanding, but there might be certain requirements which are not defined by them, but they are applicable to the product for its intended purpose, or there might be certain legal requirements which are relevant to this product or service which you are supplying, or there might be requirements internally by your organizations related to these products and services. So you need to make sure that as an organization, you are defining those requirements and you are fully aware of those requirements. So this clause 8.2.2 says when determining the requirements for products and services to be offered to the customer, the organization shall ensure the requirements of products and services are defined, including any applicable and regulatory requirements, those considered necessary by the organization, and those the organization can meet the claims for products and services it offers. The next clause, 8.2.3, is related to review of requirements related to products and services. So once the requirements are understood, those requirements which are defined by the customer, those requirements which are defined by the legal bodies, or those requirements, needs, and expectations which are defined internally by the organizations, once they are defined, the next step is that you need to review those requirements. You need to see whether those requirements are clearly defined or not defined. If there are any conflicts which are there with the customers, they are being resolved or not resolved, and if there are if you have as an organization capability to meet those requirements. 8.2.3.2 is basically demanding the records which needs to be maintained by the organization. So organization will ensure that whatever reviews they are performing, or whatever new requirements related to products and services are identified, they need to maintain the records of these activities. Clause 8.2.4 is the last subclause of Clause 8.2, which is requirements for products and services. And this clause is related to the changes in the requirements related to products and services. This clause requires the organization to ensure that the relevant documented information is amended and the relevant persons are made aware of change requirements when the requirements for products and services are changed. So whenever there is a change in the contractual obligations, whenever there is a change requested either by the customer or the change is made by the organization, all the relevant people need to be aware about those changes, because those are the people who are actually implementing the contractual obligations. And if they are not made available, there will be an issue related to the implementation of those requirements. So this particular clause is very logical. It's very straightforward. So you need to make sure as an organization that uh, if there is any change in the contractual obligations, the records are managed, records are maintained, and the relevant people are made aware. We will end episode number 15 here, and we'll come back shortly with the episode number 16, where we'll be talking about clause 8.3, which is related to design and development. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please do identify them under the comments, and we will try our level best to come back to you with the appropriate answers. Thank you very much. Keep watching and spread the word about it. Thank you.